So at the Animal Rescue League of Boston, we have a great team of people who all work together to manage our population. So I'm here talking about behavior. We also have a great shelter medicine team, great shelter manager, Marion Gasparo, and as well as dog trainers. As far as the behavior side of things goes, I work for the Center for Shelter Dogs where we're planning programs, but it's important for me to acknowledge that I am probably like a lot of you out there in that you heard me talk about 3 different jobs, so I don't have a whole lot of time to actually devote to our shelter. We don't have a whole lot of volunteers. We are working on building our volunteer program, and we are making great strides towards doing that. We have some great volunteers, but we really rely on our volunteers in terms of the success of these programs, because all of us have multiple things that we're doing, as I'm sure all of you are. So I'm going to be talking about a lot here that sounds great, but we're all the same. And throughout this lecture, when I'm talking about treating dogs and cats with behavior problems, it's really important to acknowledge that I'm talking about dogs and cats, that your particular shelter has the ability and capacity to safely treat, manage, and rehome. And what I mean when I say that, can you provide that pet with humane care and a good life while it's in the shelter? And can you safely rehome that pet? Do you have the resources to do it? As we'll talk about here, a lot of it is just time and training. It doesn't take a whole lot. But making sure that if you're just developing a behavior program and you're just starting on things, when you have a pet with more challenging problems, go to your community and see who else is out there and who might be better able to manage that particular pet. Key components of a shelter behavior program: behavior evaluation, getting a behavioral history on the pet. We have a questionnaire that we use at the Animal Rescue League of Boston. I'm going to be showing several documents throughout this lecture. If you hear me talk about anything that you would like a copy of, my email address will be at the end. Please email me and ask for them. I'm happy to send them to you. Having shelter behavioral guidelines and plans, so just like we have medical protocols, having protocols and plans for behavior is very important. And then the very big side of things for us is adoption screening, behavior counseling, and follow-up, doing things to match that pet to a good home and make sure that it's successful. When I'm talking about behavior, I'm always thinking about managing the population in our shelter, so managing the group as a whole so that we have programs to maximize the welfare of dogs and cats in our shelter. But it's important within that we don't forget about the individual dogs and cats, and utilizing practices, which I'll be talking about, that increase the efficiency of our sheltering and our understanding of the individual animals. As I said already, volunteers, those are the heart of the program, and that's really how it gets easier and cheaper than we think, is really using our volunteers, because our volunteers are amazing. Using free resources, we have some free resources from the Center for Shelter Dogs, but there's lots of free resources out there in terms of helping you to improve your behavior programs. And most importantly, a good behavior program does certainly require organization and plans, as I talked about, but it doesn't require a lot of money.